Shockwave family, I am so excited to be here with you today. So my name is Amy Woodrum and I'm a sales director with Mary Kay, and I could not be more honored to be in this group to share with you some of my favorite tips on customer service and mastering customers for life. Today I'm going to share with you my top 10 tips on customer service. And I do want to encourage you that, the most faint ink is better than the best memory. And if you can pick one thing today that I share that you could maybe implement, then it would be a boost. Don't feel like you have to take all 10 tips and start them right away, because we're all a work in progress. And all these tips I'm going to share with you have come after 23 years of building my business and working to develop customers for life. So let me tell you a little bit about my story before I give you my tips. So again, I started in July of 2003, and I was so excited. I was working in a local emergency department. I worked nights, and I really liked what I did. I was on maternity leave when Mary Kay found me, and I was so sure that I was going to go back to work. But then I had my first child, our daughter, and everyone says when they have their first child, they're like the cutest, sweetest baby. Well, she got here, and she was the cutest, sweetest, most perfect baby. And I was like, well, I can't work anymore. I have to take care of this child. And that's where Mary Kay found me. And so I realized quickly after crunching the numbers, if I could make at least $500 profit a month, we could kind of make the finances work, at least for a little bit. And so that's where Mary Kay found me. My first month I was able to do that, and I was able to build quickly from there. And so all of these years have led me just to really learning to love my customers and take good care of them. I have been in the court of sales. Here's some of my ribbons back here. Every year since the 2010s. The last 5 years I've been in the top 20, and currently right now at this point this year I have in 115,700 in retail personal sales, and a couple weeks left of the year. So this is my best year yet, and I think every year we strive to get better. And that's what I want to tell you also is, please don't compare yourself with anybody else on the scoreboard. You're working to be your best. And every month, that's what I look at. I believe attract number grows, and what you give attention to grows. And so I look at, okay, what did I do last year in June? Okay, that's what I'm trying to beat. I don't care what any of my sister directors are doing. I'm here cheering for them. If people are still buying makeup at Sephora, there are customers out there we need to find. And so I would encourage you to track your numbers and try to beat your personal best. The best way to have success is to keep your blinders on and be looking at your direct track versus what's going to the left and to the right of you. Okay, so it's okay to be a copycat if you're copying the right cat. So I'm going to give you my 10 tips. And one thing that I do is at every event, I have a notebook. And I have a separate page of notes of things I might want to implement right away or later, because we just can't do everything in one day. And so if that's something you're able to do, is to just take notes and come back to it, I think that might be a benefit. One thing I do want to throw out there, as an independent businesswoman, you are a smart, brilliant, beautiful woman, and you could make any of your own choices. And so hopefully some of the things that have worked well for me may also work well for you, but feel free to take it or leave it. Here's just what's working for me. Okay, so tip number 1, and again, I have 10 tips I'm going to share today. Tip number 1 is I do 2 + 2 + 3. I see a lot of ladies trying to build their business on social media, and social media is one tool in a toolbox. And if I was going to build a house today, it would probably fall down. But if I was going to try to build a house, I wouldn't just have a hammer. I'd have a hammer and nails and lumber and all the other things. And so social media is just one tool. And when that's your only tool, you're not really setting yourself up for success. So I meet most of my customers at appointments. I like to use the telephone tell a woman game. If I build a relationship with you, I believe that you'll introduce me to some of your best pals, and that's the best way for me to build my business. And so At the appointment, I do 2 + 2 + 3. And so how that looks is 2 days after your first purchase, I send you a message either on Messenger or text or however your best form of communication is, and just say like, hey, this is Amy, your Mary Kay girl. I always call myself that, your Mary Kay girl. And I just wanted to check in and make sure all of your products are working okay for you. And let's be honest, what I'm really trying to do is make sure she got them out of the car because we are busy people. And I think a lot of times just getting them actually physically putting those into their routine is the first step. And so that's really my main goal with that 2-day contact. That's 2 days after the appointment. Now I don't work on Sundays, so there's some wiggle room there. Also keep that in mind. 2 weeks. At the 2 weeks, I do another checkup like, hey, it's Amy, your Mary Kay girl. I just wanted to make sure everything's working well for your skin. Now that, if you ask me, is the most important step, because that's where we're going to see, like, she's going to say, hey, now I'm using that repair set. Do I use the lifting serum before or after the moisturizer? Or, hey, I got luminous foundation, but I'm wondering if matte would be better. That's kind of the secret sauce in the customer service follow-up, is that 2 week and just making sure that there's nothing that needs adjusted. And she knows that I'm calling not with dollar signs in my eyes, I'm calling with love in my heart to make sure she's happy. And then at that point, they go into the 3-month category. Now, they may have another appointment in between there, so that kind of changes things. But everyone at that point then goes into the 3 months. And so if you're a current customer of mine, you get a lookbook from me every quarter with the new products. And to me, if I'm going to spend that $1 to send you the book, $1-ish, it's not quite $1, but it's $1, you know, I'm going to make sure and contact you and see if you got the book, what questions you have, and how you're doing on your products. And that is an individual contact that you can use a service for, or, you know, as you're building your customer base, if it's not a big base, I think you can knock all those out yourself. So you'll kind of know as that number grows. But I follow up with them assuming they get a lookbook and just kind of check from there. If they say no, they didn't get a book, that's a great chance to check their address, because sometimes there's errors there, and then sometimes somebody else just got the mail. If they say no, then I send them the link. I don't mail another book, I just go ahead and send them the link at that point. So all of my customers are in that category. And then, okay, so what happens if I haven't heard from them in a year for lookbooks? So that's tip number 2, is let's talk lookbooks together. Okay, so my customers are in that lookbook bucket for a year without any necessarily ordering. Hopefully they're ordering every quarter, but you know, sometimes I have some customers who will order $600 once a year and they're set for the year, and that's cool. But assuming I haven't heard from you in a year, I'm going to assume that there's something has went awry there. And so at a 1-year mark, you're going to be set to move out of my lookbook bucket. And so I personally, not my assistant, I personally reach out and I say like, hey, Debbie, I am so sorry, our office, I always take it off me. Our office is running the numbers, and I noticed that you haven't been serviced in a while. I'm so sorry. We just got an alert that it's been 12 months since your last order, and so that automatically kind of moved you away from getting the lookbooks, and I just wanted to check in. I mean, girl, I must have missed your birthday. And so I totally make it my fault that they haven't ordered in a year. And she's going to do one of 3 things. 1, she might ghost you, and that's okay. It's not personal. Don't worry about it. Number 2, she might be like, oh, I'm still good on things, but thanks for checking in. Or number 3, she might be ready to order. And so how I approach that is I say, you know, like, Debbie, I'm so sorry. I missed your birthday. You probably missed Customer Appreciation Day. I'd love to extend you 20% off of this order if there's anything you need. And then at that point, I'll know which way to go with her. Because although most of my customers for life, I understand not all of them will be. And so that's kind of how I handle the lookbook bucket. So they stay in there as long as they're placing at least that yearly order. And I don't just say like, oh, well, forget them. If I don't hear from them, I reach out. So that's number 2. Number 3 is, as I mentioned, you probably met me at an appointment. And so assuming we're at Angel's party and we're having a great time, while we're waiting on something like everyone's throwing on mascara, I do give away a door prize at every single party. and I say like, okay, for a ticket at the door price, grab your phone and add me as a friend. And I pull up my phone and I say, here's my profile picture. We probably already have mutual friends. I'll give everyone a ticket that friends me right now. And it's so much easier to do it right then, if, because they see your face, you're building that friendship, and it's just much easier than going back later and doing it. And I wait for everyone to pull out their phone. Then I say, okay, great. I got your friend request. Here's your ticket. Here's your ticket. Here's your ticket. What happens if they're not on Facebook? That's okay. Cool. Good for them. I say that is no problem. I do communication on email too. So just make sure and write your email down there and here's your ticket, because I don't want to peer pressure them to join Facebook if that's not their cup of tea. But I think that getting them added to my friend group is the best first step. And then later, when I'm doing that 2-day follow-up, I'll invite them to my group. And I do have a customer VIP group, and that's not one of my tips, but I feel like that's a no-brainer, right? If you have one customer, you should start a personal group, because on your page, you can definitely share products, but you can never share like deals and specials and incentives. And, my goal is never ever to take anyone else's customer. And so by having that VIP group, I'm able to give them special promotions, offers, and incentives. And so I think that it's really important to get them added as a friend right away. Now, what if you meet them at a facial? I still kind of do the same thing, like go ahead and add me as a friend. Obviously, they don't get a ticket, but I usually have pretty good luck with them getting them added. What if it's a referral that I'm delivering? I kind of take the same approach because I know that as women, we love deals, and I just make sure they know that's where the specials are. And so that we just need to get you added so you can save some money. And so I try to get really proactive about that. Tip number 4 is I would definitely encourage you to keep it classy on social media. You are building your brand, and I hope that everyone in here would have no idea where I stand on any hot topics. You don't know who I like in politics or anything like that, because you're never going to be able to please anyone. So keep in mind, when you're posting anything on your personal page or in your group, you can never have people unsee things. And so keep in mind, anything you post is for everyone to see. I can tell you firsthand, people are watching. And so just always keep it classy. Linda Tupin taught me a rule several years ago that I still implement always. She said no more than 3 and every 10 posts should be about your business. Because if you're just constantly posting business, then they kind of are like, oh, that girl. So my rule of thumb is no more than 3 and every 10 posts are related to Mary Kay, because I love Mary Kay and you love Mary Kay, but we need them to love all of us. Because I think people do love supporting a small business, but you've got to kind of tie them into you as well. And that's one way to do it. My personal experience is I think AI flyers are classy and beautiful, but they're not always seen as much as handmade and hand-created things. So kind of keep that in mind as you are posting things on social media. That's just been my experience. Take it or leave it. Number 5, birthdays are a big deal. Now, Rachel did an amazing training already on birthdays, and so I'll just share with you what I do. And again, feel free to take it or leave it. But what I do is the first working day of every month for me, I run a report, and I personally, not my assistant, I personally wish everyone a happy birthday month. And I would say, hey, Debbie, happy birthday month. I am celebrating you. What are you doing for fun this month? I wanted to make sure you know that as one of my VIP customers, you have 20% off any and all Mary Kay all month long, and are entitled to a birthday makeover with a gift. I am celebrating you, and I certainly don't want you to feel pressured to order, but I would be so sad if you didn't know how special you were. And I leave it like that. Why I think it's important to send the individual message is because we have all got life going. And I do take pride in kind of trying to know what most of my customers have going. And so if Debbie's son graduated high school, I want to mention that in the message. And if her mom is fighting health concerns, I want to mention that. And so that's why I don't just do like one birthday blast, because again, say it with me, Birthdays are a big deal. And as women, we don't always get celebrated like, we were as children. And so I try to pick up that celebration, making sure that birthdays are a big deal. So I do 20% off their birthday month. They know that's coming. I send them a message. And then the birthday makeover, the free gift. Okay, so you could do whatever you want, but I let them pick any one item at their birthday makeover at half off. One item at half off at their birthday makeover, because they're probably not going to just want one thing. They're going to want all the things. And so that is an incentive to get them together. That doesn't cost you anything. When I'm not sure what to offer, I kind of lean back to a half off item, because to women, that's a big deal. Like if you want to buy a lifting serum, that's going to save you $37. But I am still getting the retail credit, and there's still going to be a profit from all the other things they've ordered. So that's what I do. You could do a gift. You can do whatever you want. That's just what I do. So birthdays are a big deal. And then at the beginning of the month, they get that contact with the offer for the booking. They've probably ordered throughout the month, but if they haven't ordered by the 28th of the month, unless it's a Sunday, then I back it up to the 27th, then I will reach out and be like, oh my goodness, Debbie, I am so hoping that you had the best birthday month. I just wanted to pop you a reminder about your discount, but I cannot wait to hear how you celebrated. And I want to make sure that they know that it's about saving them money, but also just celebrating them, because I think birthdays are important. And so I think you've got that gist. Okay, number 6, our products are already value priced. They're so much more affordable than most products. So I would strongly encourage you not to give like bulk discounts. I do 2 big sales every year, and I'm going to tell you about them, but I want to pause and I want to say they started out as small sales because I had a small customer base. But as my customer base grew, the sales and deals did too, just based on they knew to expect it, and they knew they could count on me to like make sure and have those things. So if you see all these deals and you're like, oh, that's a cute idea, I'll do that, I think customers get confused. So my customers know that they're going to get a 1-day customer appreciation day sale, and it's tomorrow for my customers. And it's a discount they're going to get on their order. They know they're helping me finish my 13th free Mary Kay car and my best personal sales year yet, and that I appreciate them supporting my business. And so it's I can share the flyer if you want, but it's basically from midnight to 6 a.m. they save a bigger percent, and then it goes down throughout the day. It's pretty basic. It's always a Friday in June, because they know June is when my Mary Kay year ends, and it's always a Friday because people are already up and people get paid on Fridays. And so it's just kind of a good thing. I wouldn't implement that for tomorrow at this point, because for it to be successful, you need to promote it early in the week and send individual contacts. Posting is great, but it is never going to get you the results you want. It's all about the individual contacts. I said I do 2 big specials a year. The other big special I do is in November. Always the week before Thanksgiving, I do a big holiday event. And again, I want to go back and say that it was small when I started, and it's grown to bigger. And they know that they're going to save by coming to do their holiday shopping with me. I feel like doing it right before Thanksgiving gets me the best market, because most people aren't done shopping. Most people haven't started shopping at that point. And so that's helpful to go that route. So, be very intentional with when you offer deals to, one, not confuse your customers, and to know that Mary Kay has got that mascara priced on point. And so when you give away money, you're just cutting into your profit. So those are the 2 big specials I do every year. But tip number 7 is I do a featured product Thursday. And at a seminar stage several years ago, I heard someone say, you've got to build your customer base not only wide, but deep. And that made perfect sense to me, because I was like, I've got customers, we'll say Sally. Sally buys her skincare from me, but when I deliver her skincare, she's got makeup on, and she didn't buy that from me. Or Tiffany, and I take Tiffany her mascara, but she is taking off that mascara somehow. And so one thing I've implemented to build my customers deeper is I do featured product Thursday. And they know every Thursday I'm going to pick a product and I'm going to tell them how great it it is. And I pick a product that I'm wanting to sell more of, or I've got a lot of on my shelf. I'm probably not going to pick eye makeup remover because that stuff walks itself out the door. I'm going to pick something that is seasonally appropriate. Like right now I'm doing after sun gel. And so I'm going to say like, here's our after sun gel. Here's why it's special. And you can save 20% on this after sun gel Thursday and Friday only. My intention there is to get new people trying the product. And so to me, I'm still going to make 30% on that sale on something they weren't going to order otherwise. Now, do know that in a customer group of almost 800, I'll sell somewhere between 5 and 15. So scale that back down and know that, like, you know, maybe that's not gonna be the one thing that helps you grow your business. It's just one thing that adds your customers on more products. And when they see me saying like, oh my gosh, you need this after sun gel, they're going to be like, oh, I meant to message Amy. I ran out of foundation this morning. And so it keeps my customers going to my group every Thursday to see what's on special. I do also email that special because, again, not everybody is on Facebook. And if I have your email, you're getting that weekly Thursday special. So that's just in my VIP group, not on my main page. And I do think that that's made a big, big difference. Okay, I've got 3 more tips for you here, guys. Tip number 8 is I do the deal sheet that a lot of you guys have seen. I don't make this. Monica makes this, and she is amazing and so go give, and I love her so much for doing this. I implemented this, I would say, 5 years ago, and I would say the approximate bump in production I did was about, I would say, 7,000-8,000 that year alone by just adding this. I used to do a gift with purchase and it just got too overwhelming. This is an amazing deal. And what I love about this, so this is actually May, so I apologize, but in May I was able to sell several facial peels because at half off, people were like, oh wow, that's a great price, I'll try that. And so I do think people try things they wouldn't have tried. Tons of people were like, oh, I'll try one of these new lipsticks. Again, I didn't make this sheet, but you have to spend $50 to get the deal. And my personal experience is people usually try new things because they're on sale. And sis, you and I both know if they try that firming eye cream, they're going to buy it again because it is amazing. And so I do think this was able to offer a huge boost just by having something consistently in place that was easy to offer. So let's say that Angel sends me her order and it's for $100. I say like, Angel, thank you so much. I am so excited to get you those products. That qualifies you for 2 deals off the half off deal sheet if you're interested. My personal favorites are X and Y. If you're interested, just let me know, but no pressure at all. And so that usually gets the dialogue going. Do they always take advantage of it? No. Do they a lot? Yes. And so this helps your wholesale production and in the long run helps your sales because they're going to get addicted to these new products. And so I love this sheet. That was number 8. Number 9 is we live in an Amazon society and getting Mary Kay products from you has to be fast and easy. And so if you don't have a fast, easy way to get their products, let's talk about that. Okay, so say in a given week, I'm delivering 150 orders. I would say, not based on actual numbers, just like approximate guesses, I'd say 20 of them are mailed. And then I would say, and you could do CVS or actual mail from your stock. I'd say then maybe 20 more are delivered at people's workplaces. And I love that because I can come in with a Mary Kay bag and meet some new people. I'd say another really good chunk are hung on their door when they're busy. And I know they're busy and they know that they can expect it to be on their door. And then the others are like, a meet while you're doing life kind of situation. But I try not to have people go out of their way to get products from me. When people are like, can I meet you? If they want to meet, absolutely. But I really prefer to make it easy for them because they'll order again if it's super easy. I do hear a lot from my customers like, wow, you're faster than Amazon. And I know in real life we can't always be faster than Amazon, but you do have to be as convenient. I definitely think you can't sell from an empty wagon. And so stocking products that you're selling a lot of only makes sense because that way you're not selling spending a ton in shipping costs, getting it to you, and then you have to track them down later. And it's just kind of a whole thing. It's just easier if you have products in your office that you can get to them quickly. And you have to make it easy for them to pay as well. So personally, I take all the ways. They're all very learnable. Zelle, Venmo, Apple Pay, Cash App. They're all pretty easy. You just have to make it convenient for your customers because let's face it, like people do have options like ordering online and like going into the store. And so I just want to make sure that they know that getting their products from me is never going to be a chore. I'm going to get it to them fast and friendly. And then the last tip I have for you, tip number 10, is to get a really good referral system in place. I have found so many times that when I take great care of customers, they are happy to share me with their friends. And so what I do for referrals is when my customer Lucy sends me her best friend because she saw how beautiful her foundation looked. Lucy, as a brand new customer, as a welcome to my customer base offer, is going to get 20% off her first order. It's up to you if you want to do that. I don't think it's essential, but I do think people love it. And then, so the new customer gets that. And then Lucy, the person who sent this customer, gets any one half off item for picking, sending me this new person. She doesn't get that until they order and pay and it's delivered, all that. But the catch with that is she has to use it right then or, she doesn't get it because I cannot keep track of all of that. And so if she doesn't want it, that's totally fine. But almost always they do take it. Okay, so why do I do that? I used to do a gift card. And, if I gave you a $10 gift card, you might just grab an eyeshadow. And then I got to mail it or deliver it. And that ended up costing me money. When you get a half off item, it doesn't cost me anything. And you're going to probably try something new. And then I'm going to add that customer into my customer base. So that is my tips, my 10 tips. And again, hear my heart. You don't have to implement them all. Pick a couple things that will help. And we're just getting to be our best and growing together every day. I'll be checking these comments and questions later. I do see 2 up already really quick. What happens if someone doesn't, they attended a party, but they never order? Okay, so I do encourage them. I do go ahead and have them still friend me, and I do add them into my customer group as long as they don't have another consultant. Like sometimes people will come to your party and they already had a consultant and that's why they didn't order, and that's great. Like, that's amazing. You use the best product, do that. But if it was because money was tight, then I still add them to their groups. And then I do reach out at just the first 2-day contact and I say like, hey, Angel, thank you so much for coming. It was great to meet you. That way she's got my number and the phone, but there's not really anything else to talk about at 2 weeks, right? And then the other question I see is, do you communicate with your customers via text or text service for the Thursday deal? I do not, just because I don't want to overwhelm them with text. They get the birthday text, they get the text about the customer appreciation deal, and they get the text about the Christmas special. But as far as the featured product Thursday, they're only via email and in my group. You definitely could. I just choose to be very selective about the text, the amount of text I send. So I think that is all the questions for now. But again, I'll check back later. I appreciate you all, cheering you on to the best seminar finish and the best customer service. Love you guys.